Okay, guys, Jack Ronan here. Second episode of All Things Football. Um, Ryan Delaney is on tonight. Ryan's currently playing with Bolton Wanderers in League One in England. So I'm just gonna wait for Ryan to come on any minute. If anyone does have any questions for Ryan, pop them in on the comments, or you can DM them across to us. I'm just gonna get Ryan on here now, and we'll get going. Just gonna wait for him to come across, guys. How's the man?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
How's things?
Yeah, all good now, all good. Keeping well.
Oh, good. Thanks for coming on.
No bother at all, no bother at all, Jacko.
Good to see you. I suppose, how's life in lockdown?
Yeah, it's a weird one to be fair. I think the main thing is just trying to keep a routine. You're so used to just kind of going in every day, training,
Yeah.
doing your gym, and then you kind of have a routine. So I think that was the main thing with the lockdown anyway, for myself. Just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that I could keep as much of a routine as possible.
Yeah. And then in terms of are you doing lots of Zoom stuff, and I suppose you're keeping fit and stuff, running and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, so probably I think we finished up on like a Friday, I think. So we had like Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and then from then
Yeah.
we got like I think it was like we started off by doing like a week of session plans, and then
Yeah.
obviously they done the complete lockdown, so they gave us a month of session plans. We have like different running sessions, like for on the road. We've got pitch sessions to do. You can choose in between them yourself, kind of how you're feeling, how's your body feeling. We've got like upper body sessions, core, leg
Yeah.
workouts, and then just kind of like we're all just kind of keeping track on it and trying to make the most of this time as best as we can.
Yeah. You're kept busy anyway.
Yeah, that's for
I
sure.
suppose we'll get things cracking. I just want to ask you, are you back in Ireland or are you still over in Manchester?
Yeah, no, I'm back in Ireland.
Oh,
I
you're back in
came,
Ireland.
yeah, I came home like
Okay.
2, 3 weeks ago. I think it was three
Okay.
weeks ago.
Yeah. Right, so we'll get cracking.
Yeah.
Suppose tell us a little bit about, I suppose, your schoolboy career. So maybe, I don't know, if you played for more than one club, what club you played at, and kind of the standard you played at.
I played for just my local team,
Local.
New Ross Celtic. Yeah, from probably I think it was maybe seven till I think I was 15, 16.
Okay.
And then from 16, then I moved down to Wexford Youth at the time, just to
Okay.
play under 18s and under 19s back then.
Okay. I suppose then, how did the move to IT Carlo come about? So why did you choose the course, and how beneficial do you think that was in your development at the time?
I think probably when I broke into the first team at Wexford, I think I was like 17 at the time. I think I was in 50 at the time. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of lads involved at Wexford at the time from IT Carlo.
Yeah.
So they were all doing the course and kind of just basically said like how much they enjoyed it and like that they think it would be a good course for me maybe to look into myself and see how I feel about it. So I
Yeah.
kind of just asked them a few questions. Obviously,
Yeah.
looked up a bit myself, but like for that year in college that I done, obviously I think it helped me in good stead.
Yeah.
It just kind of gave me kind of like you're
I
not full time
suppose.
training, but you just train that a
Yeah.
little bit more, don't you?
Yeah. I suppose that kind of the amount of players that at the time that would have been in IT Carlo but playing for Wexford at the time as well.
Yeah,
I'd say that was a big help for you, was it?
yeah, absolutely. Like, because obviously I knew the lads, and obviously like they're not going to lie to you. Do you know what I mean? They just kind of want the best
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
and it kind of helped even just to settle in period as well. Obviously up in Carlo.
Yeah. 100%.
But like the course itself, like I loved it. Like on a day to day basis,
Yeah.
like everything about
Yeah.
it.
Excellent. Yeah. And do you still chat to many of the lads from the course?
Yeah, I do. I speak to a good few, to be fair. A few cannons in that group.
Yeah, goes. um, right, so you're at Wexford Youths then, two great seasons. So you win the Fourth Division and then you have a year in the Premier Division, which is great, like experience to have. I suppose just talk to us a little bit about them two seasons you had.
Yeah, so I broke in kind of when I was about 17. I think I made my debut at the time.
Mm.
Um, played maybe 3, 4 games, kind of, and I was in and out of the team kind of all that year.
Yeah.
Play kind of like a game here and there, really, because obviously I was
Hmm.
still young at the time.
Yeah.
I was still playing under 18s and under 19s as well. Like, so it was kind of like just to kind of ease myself in. I think they just didn't want to put too much pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And then when it came to that season that we won the league, that was kind of just when I started kind of really nailing down my place in the team at the time.
Hmm.
I was feeling good. Obviously, at the time we were winning every week. Felt like I was doing well, and like it was unbelievable. Like, because
Yeah.
obviously
You
that year that
were
we won the
still
league,
quite young at the time as well.
yeah. So I think I was like maybe 18. I think at the time when we won the
Mm.
league.
Yeah.
Um, but like there, that was my kind of like first shot at like competitive games. Obviously, like playing 5, 6, 7, 8, and I was just in a run of games at the time.
Yeah.
But like I think we knew kind of that preseason. Like I think we all came back kind of in good condition, and obviously we kind of got a few good lads in as well. And we felt like that we could
Yeah.
give it a good shot. Maybe
Yeah.
probably go for the playoffs. Maybe I don't think anybody really thought
Yeah.
like we were going to win it at the
Yeah.
start of the season. We were all quite level headed,
Yeah.
like, but it was just kind of it was the
Yeah.
way that the league went. At the time, we done well,
Yeah.
and then that 6 months then that I played in the Premier Division with us, obviously it was a massive step up for us. We went
Yeah.
into training. I think we trained an extra 2 days in the week, so that was obviously a big step up for us as a club and a team. But like
Mm.
I think we held ourselves in good stead. We got good results. We drew
Yeah.
down at Cork 1-1 down at Turner's Cross. Like that was
Yeah.
unbelievable at the time for us.
Yeah. Like I even remember watching this. I could be wrong now, but I think when you played Bows and Dalymount, like I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Bows ended up winning 5-3 in the end.
Yeah,
And
I,
there was a period in that game where like he's absolutely bossed balls out of the park for about half an hour, like, and you like for the position he would have been in the league at the time, like it was just, I don't know, maybe if injuries kind of didn't do you any favors or what was, but I think like you definitely you gave yourselves like a good kind of name for the club around the league at the time as well, like, you know.
yeah, no, I remember that game. Yeah, probably. I think it was the first half hour in the first half. We just kind of came out of
Yeah.
the blocks. I don't really know what happened. Like we
Yeah.
just came out, and obviously everybody
Yeah.
was just you kind of get that little bit of boost of
Mm.
confidence.
Yeah.
Because probably the start of the season, like we did find it tough. I think. Uh, you're playing like obviously better teams like Bows. I think we played like could have played Rovers in around probably that 10 day period as well.
Yeah.
So like you're playing against like good seasoned pros, obviously around the League of
Mhm.
Ireland at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was kind of like a turning point, I think, for us.
Yeah.
Um, with how we kind of knew that obviously we were up to the standard. Obviously, it was
Yeah.
just small things that maybe left us down.
Yeah. So time obviously goes on. Then you have two great seasons at Wexford, and Bolton Albion come knocking on the door. What's going through your head?
Yeah, it was actually a weird one. Like it came out of nowhere. So I was just kind of like, I think I just got a call like on a Tuesday. So we train like Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Yeah.
and I got a call on Tuesday off my agent, kind of saying, look, you're going over to Burton to train. You're getting a flight on Thursday. I was like,
Okay.
what? And he was like, yeah, you're getting a flight on Thursday. You're going to train Friday, and there's a game against Stoke City on Saturday. It was. I
Okay.
was like, all right. Didn't kind of like think off. Like I didn't really think too much about it, to be
Yeah.
honest. I
Yeah.
just kind of went with the flow. I was like, yeah, just gonna give it a good crack and kind of just take it as an experience for myself and see how I got
Yeah.
on. Got over there. Obviously, we trained on Friday, and we were obviously in season at the time at Wexford, so it was
Yeah.
pre-season for them. So I was
Okay.
feeling good myself.
Yeah.
Went over. We'd done like a pre-season session on Friday, and then we played Stoke City on the Saturday. So I played the second half of the Stoke City game, and yeah, just after the game, like it was like the manager was kind of like, "Oh, look, you're gonna have to stay over for the rest of the weekend." I was
Okay.
meant to fly back like Saturday night. He was
Yeah.
like, "Look, you're going to stay over for the rest of the weekend. I'm getting in contact with obviously your club to try sort something out just for you to stay here, basically." I
Mm.
was like, "Fuck!" I was like,
Yeah.
it was so strange. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I
No.
just kind of went over. I thought this would be a good experience.
Mm.
First time kind of being in a professional environment,
Yeah.
and it just kind of fell into place, really.
Okay. Yeah, that's mad now, to be fair. I remember in college at the time, like when obviously a lot of the people kind of would have found out about it and stuff. We were kind of just all astonished. Like obviously we were all
Yeah,
delighted at the same time, but I suppose like being in your shoes, it's something when you get a call like that, like kind of out of the blue, it's kind of
yeah.
very hard to digest, I suppose. But so moving on, then yeah, obviously signing for Bolton, but don't feature. Was that kind of? Did you expect that, or did you feel like you needed experience out on loan anyway?
Yeah, that's it. That's 6 months. It was a weird 6 months because when I signed, kind of in preseason, feeling good, I was
Mm.
thinking like I might be too far away here,
Mm-hmm.
and they were obviously at the championship at the time,
Yeah.
and we were kind of coming into the season, and I think in the first month I could have been on the bench maybe two, three times, and I was
Yeah.
thinking I'm one injury away here, and I could be in.
Yeah.
And I remember then kind of came into the last week of the window, and we went out and I think we signed like two defenders in like the last week, and I was like, oh, here we
That's
go,
the last
like
you want to see.
yeah, that was it. I was thinking, oh, like because you don't expect it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was still all new to me, so I kind of signed. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be like in and around it, and then
Mm.
like probably a month, maybe 6 weeks later, then we kind of signed two like experienced lads that have been around the league really.
Yeah.
Um, so I think maybe got five in total in that 6 months. Maybe I think I was on the bench maybe 4 or 5 times.
Mm.
Um, but as much as I could, obviously we didn't have like under 21s team or 23s team at the
Okay.
time. We had it was like a reserve team, but
Uh,
we didn't feature every week. So we featured maybe once every month, every 5 weeks.
okay.
Which for me, like it wasn't
Yeah.
really beneficial.
How sorry to go across you. How come it was like why wasn't there like an under 21 team there at the time? Was that just something that they didn't want to do, or was it what was the case?
I think it was like we had quite an old team to be fair. So I think there was
Okay.
maybe only like four players in around the team that were probably like 23 downwards, like at the time.
Mm. Yeah.
And at the time for Burton as well, I think Burton. If I've got it right, I'm pretty sure they got promoted from League Two to League One to the Championship
Yeah.
in consecutive years.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think it was all moving very fast for them as well.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so we didn't have like a proper 21s or like weekly games that I could get in. So it kind of got to, I think, maybe November, and I was like, I kind of like went stale, if that makes sense, because obviously I
Yeah.
wasn't playing games.
No,
I was
no
tra-
sharpness or anything.
yeah, that was it, and I felt
Mm.
like it was killing me. Because at the start I was feeling good. Obviously, I've come in from probably playing like half the season with Wexford, and I was flying. And then obviously I kind of like didn't play like a competitive game basically in like 3 months, and I
Yeah.
was like, I felt it as well. Do you know when you're training, you know little small things,
Yeah.
just that kind of match sharpness, obviously that you've said.
Yeah.
So kind of for that 2 months, I was just thinking like I need to get out and play some games.
100%. So obviously at that point, then the move to Cork comes about. Suppose personally, I thought like having seen it from college to Wexford Youths, and then obviously you moved to Bourne, then I obviously would have seen it any time like Cork and the Daily Mount or
Mm.
anytime I went down to Turner's Cross or even watching Soccer Republic, wherever it may be, um, up until that point, I thought that was the best football I've seen you play, like up until that date. Um,
Mm.
I suppose, why do you think that was? Do you think John Caulfield had a part to play, or what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, John definitely did. Even at that time, it was just like there was probably like I think maybe a week period that he was kind of calling me, just trying to basically reassure me that it's a good move for me.
Yeah,
That obviously I'll progress, and like he seemed like that he actually kind of cared, that he actually cared about wanting to get the best out of me.
yeah,
Um, and straight away, kind of since I went to sign on loan, he was just looking out for me, trying to do as much as he could for me.
yeah,
Um, and like, yeah, I just think he just kind of like brought out like confidence in me in that, and I felt like probably even in that first 6 months at Cork, I like felt like a massive like difference in
yeah.
myself.
Like
Uh,
that's what I mean. Like what we kind of noticed was not saying that you weren't comfortable on the ball, but even
mm,
saying it was just like you were just more composed, calm on the ball, like picking passes. I think many times. I think you found the net maybe 6 times that year. Did you? Or was it
yeah,
more?
I think it was like 5 or 6 goals, yeah,
Yeah,
that season, yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I think it was just like it all kind of came from him just giving me the confidence, really.
yeah,
Like he was really good at me, obviously, and then I think from just playing games as well, I feel good when I kind of get consecutive games under my
yeah.
belt.
100%.
Like the more games I play, the more I feel that like I'm on it, if that makes sense. Do you know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
get you. Yeah,
And that time, like obviously, I think I played nearly every game at Cork that season.
Mhm.
It was massive for me. Like it was probably a turning point, really. Like
Yeah,
after that, probably from I'd say maybe October to December, like I was like thinking I need to get games, or I need to like
yeah,
get
yeah,
something going here.
yeah,
And like it was the best thing that could have happened to me.
yeah,
And I can't thank John obviously enough, like for
yeah.
getting me down to Cork.
Obviously, his man management skills were obviously top notch. Then.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, I think there was just like even the lads at Cork, like there was a competitive edge in training every day. Like we had a lot
Mm,
of lads that played in the league a lot. Few boys have been in England, and like people like won't understand like the standard that was down there. I think
yeah,
people that maybe don't watch the league,
yeah,
kind of they have an opinion before watching the league
yeah.
when like it's
Like
completely
some
different than
top
what like
players in that team there was.
yeah. I think like the team was a joke. Like the team
Yeah,
that we had, like
like Shawnee McGuire,
uh,
Kev O'Connor. Who else would have been there? Um,
Carl
Alan Bennett,
Shepherd, like we
there would have
Conor
been like
McCormack, Alan
very
Bennett.
yeah. And
Yeah, no, like
you obviously went on to win the double. Then what's that feeling like?
yeah, it was mad. Like I think we done well in preseason. Like I think like that everyone was kind of like everyone was doing well in fitness, and obviously we were like expecting to go well. But I think we could have went like 10 games. I think without like dropping a point.
Yeah,
And I think like we just felt like invincible nearly at the
yeah,
time. Like we felt like we don't care who we play or who comes like and plays us, we're gonna beat them. Like and
yeah,
like not like in a cocky way, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like we just knew that whatever task was gonna be put in our face, like we were gonna find a way around it to get a result. Like
yeah. And obviously during that period then as well, you would have built up a big rivalry with Dundalk. What were them games like to play in?
yeah, nah, they were class. I think even the first one. I think my first game was Dundalk in the or in the President's Cup. It was down in
Oh,
Turner's
okay.
Cross. So that was
Yeah,
my my first game like in Turner's Cross at the time against
yeah,
Dundalk, and like that just kind of set
yeah.
set it light really, like just the
Yeah.
rivalry straight away. Like
Mm,
coming into that week that you're playing Dundalk, like everybody's on it, like even
yeah,
more than they usually are, and like I
yeah,
know 100% that they would be the exact same.
yeah. And obviously, from me myself, kind of following the league and stuff, like, what's it like kind of playing in Turner's Cross? Like, some, like, the atmosphere, like, kind of, I suppose most weeks would be very good, but in terms of, like, when derbies or when you're playing the likes of Dundalk, what's it like to play there?
Oh, it's ridiculous. Like it's
Yeah,
unbelievable. I think like obviously the big games everyone thinks of, and then but European nights are even better.
Yeah.
Obviously, like they get as many fans in as possible, and like you come out for your warm up, and
Yeah.
like there's the whole place is nearly full, like, and that's like an hour and a half before the game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're
Class.
you're you're coming in like with your gear bag and that going into the dressing room, and like everybody's waiting outside, like
Yeah.
buzzing for the game, and like it just kind of pushes into you that
Yeah.
extra bit of confidence, like going out and playing.
Deadly. Yeah. So obviously, great 2 years then at Cork. Rochdale start showing interest. I suppose. How did that come about? And was that something, I suppose, when you would have probably had that good run of games for Cork and you were playing like very well? Was that something that you wanted kind of to accomplish going back across the water, or what was the situation?
Yeah, so like my goal was when I was going back to Cork was to get at the time it was to get a good 6 months under my belt to go back into pre-season, but
Mm.
I felt myself like that there was such an improvement in myself, like even confidence wise, like going into games and stuff. Like
Yeah.
um, I felt like that 6 months it would have been a waste to like just kind of like not take a chance, but go back into preseason and kind of go again. I felt like for myself that I needed to get a full season under my belt.
Mhm.
So like I think I played like maybe 40, 45 games, probably at Cork, 40 to 45 games at Cork that season, maybe 50.
Mhm.
Um, but I knew at the end of it, I wanted to get cracking basically over in England again. I wanted this to be kind of like to help me kind of
Down.
progress again. Yeah,
Yeah.
not even a stepping stone, but just kind of like get the best out of me so I can go
Yeah.
back over across the water
Mm.
and kind of crack on straight away. So I think I went back to Burton at the time in December, but when I went back, I kind of knew it within like maybe 10 days that like nothing was going to happen, that I was going to have
Mhm.
to try see what was available in January, and then kind of Rochdale came about at the time. So Brian Barry Murphy is from Cork himself.
Okay.
He was a coach at the time, so he kind of gave me a ring, like, and basically said, like, look, um, seeing you at Cork, obviously during the summer, like this be a great move for you. The manager will be great with you, and he'll help you progress even more. So like, it was a no-brainer for me, really. Like, I just
Yeah.
wanted to get down there and kind of get cracking straight away.
Yeah. So was that you mentioned that fella there? Was he a coach over in Rochdale that was just from Cork? Was that
Yeah, it was
okay?
a
Oh,
massive coincidence. So
yeah.
he was from Cork and he was a coach at Rochdale.
Jeez, that's mad. So I suppose I probably wouldn't have seen you playing much for Rochdale, but then obviously comes about you get a good run in the FA Cup, and I see a former kind of classmate and teammate of mine is going to be playing against Force. So when I seen that, it was just mad thinking that you are going from playing from I don't know college football, First Division football to Premier Division football to FA Cup in such a short time. I was just like, that's mad. Kind of, I suppose, talk to us what that feeling's like.
Yeah, it was massive. Like I think my first game for Rochdale was in the FA Cup against Millwall at the time.
Okay.
At the den, that was my first game,
Yeah.
and like the atmosphere was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it was such a hostile atmosphere. It was class.
Yeah.
We got a 1-1 draw there. We brought him back to the Crown Oil and we bet him. And
Mm.
then obviously the FA Cup draw comes out that we get Tottenham, like, and
Yeah.
everyone's like can't believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Class.
that's obviously what the FA Cup's about. Like,
Mm.
just trying to get that big team, and we got Spurs like obviously at our place first, and like it was just
Yeah.
unbelievable. You know, obviously you just go from like watching these players like on TV, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you're playing on the same pitch as them,
Yeah.
and you just kind of have to like even try push that out of your mind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of push it
Cause
out like
yeah. I don't. Sorry to cut across, but
yeah.
I remember kind of it was before this was the first game when you were at home, the 2-2 game,
Mm,
and the player obviously you were in the tunnel, and I was just watching the telly, and I just obviously the camera turned to you, and then like
mm.
literally a second later, I just turned to Lucas Moura, and I was just like how do you compose yourself? I suppose like going to like such a big occasion against like such big players like that.
Yeah, I don't know really. I think like everyone's different, I think. But for me, like I kind of just, as much as I can, just kind of like, it's obviously a cliche, you know, like, oh, just
Mm.
play every game like it's a normal game.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think like that, if you do overthink things, you'll get nervous. Do you know what I mean? If you
yeah,
start overthinking, oh, I'm playing Tottenham, I'm playing
yeah,
these, like you start overthinking, and then it'll start compensating on your game.
yeah,
So like, I just kind of wanted to go out there and like, you know, it's like it's a free shot. Do you know what I mean? You have a free shot
yeah,
against a Premier League team,
yeah,
and give it a good crack against like the best of the best, basically.
yeah,
Um, but like, yeah, even before the games, you have goosebumps. Like, it's like unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like, it's not really a nervous feeling. It wasn't. I remember that back then. It was like a feeling like excitement. Like I just want to
mm,
get out on that pitch and like wanted to go.
yeah,
Um, but like that day was like, unbelievable.
yeah. That's it's just class to even say that throughout your career you've come up and you've played against players like that, but you've played in such, I suppose, big occasions like that as well.
Yeah,
And so I suppose from me, I suppose fair play to you. I think it's a great like achievement and stuff like that. But
yeah,
just want to touch on then representing your country. You get called up to the under 21s. Talk to us a little bit about that.
yeah. That kind of came around. I think probably halfway through the season at Cork. Obviously, I'd done well in that 6 months, and I think we got called up. We had like a training camp, and then it went from there. That I was kind of called up in like basically all the squads. Like
Mm-hmm.
first couple of games, I was obviously on the bench, but didn't feature. And then I made my debut against Azerbaijan away, and it was actually my 21st birthday. Like it was
No
my
way.
birth. Yeah, it was mad. Like I remember. It was my birthday over there the day we played Azerbaijan, and I think my mom and my nan flew over for it. Obviously, because
The,
like I wasn't starting or anything, but like I don't know, it was they just had a
Still
weird
a
feeling.
big
They said,
deal. Like,
yeah, it was a big
yeah,
deal, but they just had a weird feeling as well. They said,
yeah,
and I came on in that game like to make my debut, like on my 21st birthday. That was unbelievable.
yeah,
Um, and then I went on to play a couple of other games. Then kind of near the end of the campaign, we played Germany twice, once away, once in Tala. Um, Played out in Israel. There was we had a few mad countries in our group, like,
yeah. Who would
but
who was the boss at that stage?
Noah King.
Ah, no, King, yeah. And
Yeah,
then in that squad, you would have had the likes of, trying to think off the top of my head, Jake Mulroney, was he in that squad?
yeah, Jake
Yeah,
Mulroney. Yeah, he's
yeah,
class. Like,
yeah.
with Jake Mulroney, we had Declan Rice obviously at the start.
Mm,
Ryan Manning at QPR.
mm-hmm.
We like very strong squad like
Yeah,
at the time.
yeah,
And it was just kind of like a shame how it kind of ended. I think
yeah,
we felt like that probably we should have went maybe one further, but it just wasn't to be in the end.
yeah. I know it is. It's something I suppose that you can kind of cherish, saying that you've represented your country, no matter if it's I don't know, under 16s, under 19,
Yeah,
or like both. So it is. It's something that you can, I suppose, be proud of. Um.
yeah, definitely.
Then I suppose your time at Wimbledon and Bolton. Just talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so kind of the Wimbledon one kind of came around, came back into pre-season, and I think we played probably first three games, and I felt like I'd done a lot of work in pre-season and stuff, and hadn't really featured. So I felt to myself like I need to kind of get out basically and see if what's available, like just to get back playing games and that.
Yeah.
Because obviously for myself, I feel the best obviously when I'm playing like
Hmm.
week in week out. So went down to Wimbledon at the time. Obviously, it was a big change. Like obviously, I had to move from Manchester to London, which is a
Yeah.
bit it's a mad
Yeah.
place.
Big
Like
difference. Yeah.
yeah, and then went in. I think I signed on deadline day, so obviously I had to like try get all my stuff sorted the day before. Come down on deadline day, driving down, try get everything over the line. Basically, I think I signed at like 4 o'clock or something like that. 3, 4 o'clock. It was getting tight. Like
Yeah.
because obviously it was a long drive and that.
Yeah.
Got that done then, and I think trained 2 days, and then we had like the derby against MK Dons on the telly. So
Okay.
obviously that is massive game. Like,
Yeah.
so that was my first game from Wimbledon. I kind of kicked on then from there. Kind of played majority of the games in my loan spell.
Yeah. So then you're at Bolton now. How are you feeling? Obviously, before all this kind of came about, the virus and stuff.
Yeah, nah, I was buzzing to kind of get that over another deadline day.
Was that
Another
on deadline
deadline
day
day.
as well?
Yeah, another deadline day. I lose things. Things always seem to go to the last minute, but
Yeah,
I was buzzing to get that done. Like
yeah,
obviously, Bolton's a massive club. Like I remember
yeah,
all them years ago being in the Prem,
yeah,
and like just like little things like the stadium's unbelievable. They
yeah,
got such a big fan base.
yeah,
Like training ground is good, and like I just felt like for me that I wanted to sign somewhere permanently, but that it's going to be a good club for me to
yeah.
progress. And like like they have a good fan base and everything's just like a little bit of a step up, sort of. Like get so many fans at the home games. Like atmosphere is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And when it was floating around probably the last week in the window, I just like wanting to get it done as quick as possible. But obviously then this lockdown's kind of
Yeah,
slowed
yeah,
it down. So obviously
yeah.
the last two games I've gone and made my debut, started against Wimbledon. We drew 0-0 and then played against Burton in the last game before the thing. Obviously, I scored as well. It was a madness. Like
No,
it,
Scott.
it's
So you've
weird.
played against two of your former clubs. You managed to grab a goal in one of them.
Yeah, it's madness. Like, it's weird. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
weird how like football kind of changes. Like,
yeah,
um, but yeah, I was just kind of like enjoying everything. Like, obviously new atmosphere, new lads. The lads are class. Like,
yeah,
helped me settle in on that and just kind of want to get started again. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Um, then I suppose like you're playing at Bolton now. Like I was talking to a few of my mates earlier on type of thing. Like they're just asking kind of about you, who you're playing with and stuff like that. Like obviously you're signing for Bolton, like, but they're obviously like, not say that they're not a big club anymore, but
Mm.
like years ago they would have been playing in the Premier League, and now it's obviously League One. But what's it I suppose like signing for a club like Bolton when you hear like players like JJ Okocha, Gary Spade and stuff have played there before.
Yeah, it's mad. Like you go from like watching matches of the day, when you see Bolton on matches of the day, like, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
you're in the stadium. Do you know what I mean? Like you're
yeah,
out on the pitch, and obviously all the fans are there. But like I think like yeah, I just want to kind of get that feeling, like get back on that pitch.
yeah,
Especially obviously from being from the Premier League coming down to League One, like they've kept the same fan base. Like the fans are like very
yeah,
loyal. Like they want to stick behind the team, and I want to be there. Do you know what I mean? When hopefully we
yeah.
start rising back up the leagues. That's the
Good
goal
stuff.
anyway.
Yeah. I suppose like for me asking you, I don't know, you hear it a lot. I suppose kind of the lower you kind of go, I suppose in England, um, they say kind of it's more so like physical rather than technical. Like what's your kind of thoughts on that? Like is it a type of thing where like sometimes you'd even say with the league here in Ireland, they say like, oh, the standard kind of isn't really great. Like it's more so kind of, I don't know, who football more so than anything else. Like what would you kind of say on that?
I think like obviously from my time playing in the league, I think the main probably difference from the League of Ireland is there's like more of a variety of teams. Like
Yeah,
playing, there's a lot more playing styles. I think like there's a lot more formations even. Do you know what I mean? A lot of teams obviously play 3-5-2 and formations like that, like four
yeah,
three threes.
yeah,
But like I think like every team kind of has like nearly a playing style. Like I wouldn't
yeah,
just label like the whole league say as a hoopball league. Do you know what I mean? Like there's like
yeah,
a lot of teams
mm,
that would play kind of sort of direct football because obviously it's effective for them.
yeah,
And then there's obviously a lot of kind of other teams that are more kind of like a pass and playing out from the back sort of style. I think it kind of just kind of goes off what players kind of clubs have, and do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different factors,
yeah,
but
yeah,
um, like I think it's just like it's good obviously because it's testing yourself as well. Obviously,
yeah,
you don't play the same kind of style like 2-3 weeks in a row. You play
yeah,
one team and they be playing out from the back, and they be playing kind of like inside wingers, or you be
yeah,
playing teams that'll have 4-4-2 and they go direct to the big men, and kind of play off that. I think it kind of helps you as well because obviously playing against different styles, you progress in different ways because you can't just think the same every game. Every
Yeah.
game you've got to adapt yourself.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's good. Yeah. You've covered a lot there. I didn't mean now. I hope you didn't think I meant that by who
nah,
called it.
no,
You kind of just, I don't know. It's a phrase that you kind of hear a lot. That's what I just
yeah, nah,
want to ask.
no, I know
Um,
what you mean.
yeah, but you've been good with your time. I just want to ask you maybe two or three more, and we'll finish on that. I
Yeah,
suppose. Best player you've played with and against.
best player I've played with against. Best player I probably played against would be probably Lucas Moura, I'd say. I would say like Kane and that, but Kane only came on for like 10 minutes, so
Yeah,
you can't really say that. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I think he was a joke. Even like uh, Sissoko, like
yeah.
people obviously like have different kind of thoughts on different players, but he was a joke, and I think Moussa Dembele as well.
Yeah,
Moussa Dembele was like a Rolls Royce, like strolling around. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
He'd have a Cuban cigar out and he's bloody passing the ball, feeding it between the lines and that.
yeah.
And then best player I've played with. Oh, it's a tough one that. Uh, Declan Rice is probably up there. I didn't actually play personally on the same team, but obviously training with him when we were with
Yeah,
Ireland, like he's a joke. Like I
yeah.
think like at that time he was probably played a season maybe in the Prem, but
Hmm.
like he's so far ahead. Like I think even what people think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just it's like simple things that people think are simple things,
yeah,
but good players do it right. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Good players.
I know. Yeah. Um,
But he's probably up there, I'd say.
right. So next question then: best manager you've played under.
I'd say probably that's a tough one, like because I think like all the managers I've had kind of have helped me in different ways. Like I think Shane Keegan at the start, obviously, kind of like took me under his wing, kind of helped me kind of progress and kind of like a little bit kind of grow up, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And then like John Coffey was a little bit different. Obviously, he was like kind of more probably maybe get my confidence back and
Yeah.
like made me feel good with myself. And then obviously I've had Keith Hill twice now at two different teams. So I signed at Rochdale. He was the
Yeah.
manager at Rochdale, and now I've signed at Bolton, and he's a manager. And like we get on quite well. Obviously, like we know each other quite well, and he was probably a massive part in me signing for Bolton as well at the time.
Hmm.
Because my first spell under him, like I felt like he was getting the best out of me, and like I was progressing and like getting better. And I feel like hopefully now, in the time that obviously we're playing under him now, is he's going to keep going that way.
Good stuff. Right. Last question then. Best game you've played in, I suppose, in terms of the standard of the game or how the game went, and then maybe like an atmosphere as well. Like,
Uh, Probably the two games was the Dundalk final in the Aviva, and then I would say probably Spurs in Wembley. I think just for the atmosphere alone, and them in them two games, I think um, was ridiculous. Really, I think at the time, like especially the Dundalk game, um, I felt like a lot of teams obviously doubted us. I think we started the season well, but a lot of teams felt like that we kind of were slipping up towards the end of the season. When Dundalk, obviously at the time, they were the opposite. They kind of like came really good like near the end of the season when I think teams expected Dundalk to beat us in the final. But obviously we went up there and we got it over the line, which was a massive game and experience was really good as well.
excellent. Right, Ryan. We leave it at that.
All right.
Just want to say a big thanks for coming on. Really enjoyed it, and I hope you get back on the pitch pretty soon.
Cheers. Take it easy,
Right,
Jacko. All the best,
take it
pal.
easy, man. Good luck. Thanks.